For almost 20 years now, social media has felt, well, permanent, right? Just part of the furniture of our lives. But what if all that is about to change? Today, we're going to dig into a really provocative idea. Are we actually seeing the beginning of the end for social media as we know it? All right, so let's just jump right in. This whole idea comes from futurist Sinead Bovell, and she's saying something pretty wild. She thinks the very foundation of social media is starting to crack. And the thing causing it, you guessed it, it's the one technology that's changing everything: artificial intelligence.
So, to really get our heads around this, we're going to unpack this amazing debate between two heavy hitters. On one side, you've got Bovell, who's making the case that everything's about to be disrupted. And on the other, you have entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk, who has a totally different take. It's a real clash of ideas about where we're all headed.
Okay, first things first, let's set the scene a bit. This whole world of scrolling, swiping, and sharing, it feels like it's been our digital home forever. But think about it. Just like the telegraph or even the old home telephone, no technology really lasts forever, does it? And that's the key thing to remember here. Any industry that's built on technology is always changing. It's not set in stone. I mean, from the wheel all the way to AI, we're always moving forward. So the real question becomes, what does forward actually look like for the platforms that have basically defined a whole generation? All right, let's get into the real meat of the argument. Sinead Bovell's big idea is that AI isn't just some new feature for social media, like a new filter or something. No, she sees it as a full-on wrecking ball that's about to completely dismantle the whole thing. And she breaks her argument down into three main points. Three big disruptions, all driven by AI. And each one of them attacks the very reason we even use social media in the first place. So let's take a look at them one by one. So number one is what she calls the bot audience. Look, let's be real. We post online to connect with other humans, to get that validation, right? We're signaling, hey, look at my new job. I'm on a cool vacation. I'm in a relationship. But what happens when you can't be sure if anyone watching is even human? What if it's just millions of AI bots? Bovell says that's when the whole psychological reason to even bother posting just starts to fall apart. Okay, second point. Totally new interfaces. I mean, as voice assistants like Alexa and others get smarter and smarter, that muscle memory we have of pulling out our phone and scrolling, that's just going to fade away. We'll just speak what we want. And third, AI is going to create brand new economies out of thin air. Think about it. The internet didn't just make TV easier to watch, it created something entirely new, like YouTube. Bovell's point is that AI is going to do the same thing. It's going to lead to behaviors in businesses we can't even dream of right now. But hold on. Not everyone is convinced this is the end of the world for social media. Gary Vaynerchuk totally pushes back on this idea. He doesn't see an apocalypse. He just sees evolution, the next step in a long journey. So Vaynerchuk's counterargument is actually super simple but really powerful. He's saying, look, AI bots aren't going to replace the human audience. They're just going to be another part of the audience. He sees a future where it's bots and humans together. It's not this either-or situation. It's a world of and. And he makes this point, even if 99% of your views come from bots, who cares? As long as that tiny 1% of actual humans drives real results in the real world, the game is still on. I mean, if you're selling lipstick and your sales keep going up, are you going to stop posting? Of course not. See, for Gary Vaynerchuk, it all comes down to being super pragmatic. He's not interested in vanity metrics or marketing for its own sake. He cares about one thing: what is marketing doing for the bottom line? The question isn't, how many likes did I get? The question is, did this actually grow my business? And if the answer is yes, well, then the system is working just fine. Okay, so let's shift gears now to where both of them actually agree, because this is where it gets really, really interesting. They are both convinced that we are right on the edge of a massive technological shift, one that's going to replace the smartphone as the center of our universe. And this is a great way to see the historical pattern, right? Every few decades, some new way of getting information to people comes along and just changes everything. Radio became TV, TV was challenged by the phone. So, what's the next logical step here? Yep, augmented reality. So the future isn't going to be a flat little screen you hold in your hand. Just imagine a digital layer of information projected right over the world you're seeing through a simple pair of glasses. This is going to completely transform content. We're not talking about a 90-second video clip anymore. We're talking about something that's interactive, 3D, and just unbelievably immersive.
And this new world creates something called the Agentic Economy. Basically, you'll have your own personal AI agent that handles all the boring stuff. Reordering toothpaste, paper towels, all that low-effort shopping. It'll just know your preferences, and that frees up your brain power to focus on the things that actually matter to you. The big-ticket items you really care about, like picking out a perfume, a new car, or a great bottle of wine. So what does this mean? It means that the 90-second video clip, the thing that has completely defined the last decade of content, is about to seem as old-fashioned as a radio drama. I mean, watching a little video in a tiny box on your phone is going to feel so boring when you can literally experience stories and content all around you in AR.
So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? What does all this actually mean for creators, for brands, for pretty much anyone trying to get a message out there in this crazy, changing world? How on earth do you get ready for a future that isn't even written yet?
Well, the advice is pretty cool. You've got to fly 2 planes at the same time. Plane number 1 is all about today. You keep doing what works, squeeze every last drop of value and brand awareness out of the platforms we have now, like TikTok and Instagram. But at the exact same time, you have to be building plane number 2. That means you start playing with the future. You get your hands dirty, experiment with AI, and start learning the rules of whatever's coming next. And this right here is probably the most important takeaway of all. In the long run, success isn't going to be about mastering the TikTok algorithm or figuring out the next AR platform. It's going to be about having a real core value proposition. So the question you've got to ask yourself is this: what is it that I offer that is so important, so essential, that my audience would follow me anywhere? From TikTok today to an AR world tomorrow, and to whatever comes after that. So here we are, standing at this massive turning point, the end of one era and the beginning of something totally new. And it leaves us with this one last thought. The future isn't just something that happens to us. As all this stuff, AI, AR, these new economies, starts to reshape our world, the biggest question isn't what's going to happen, it's what are we going to do with it all?